Here's the thing nobody tells you when you start a blog. You can publish good, careful posts for a year straight and still rank for absolutely nothing. And here's the cruel part. It's almost never the writing. It's that you went after keywords you were never going to win. Terms where the entire first page is already locked up by sites 100 times your size, with budgets you don't have. I did exactly that for the better part of a year, so believe me, I learned this one the slow and expensive way. So today I want to fix the very front of that whole problem. By the end of this, you'll know how to pull a real, usable list of keywords you can actually rank for, researched properly, filtered down to what's genuinely winnable for your specific site, and narrowed all the way to the one keyword worth writing first. I'm going to do the entire thing inside KW Finder, which is the keyword half of Mangools, and I'll stay in the real tool the whole way so you see every single click, no hand waving. 3 passes, that's the whole method. Find the candidates, cut them down to what you can win, then group what's left and pick your target. One quick housekeeping thing before we start clicking, because I genuinely want you doing this alongside me, not just watching me do it. If you want to follow along in your own account, the link's right down in the description. stackinspectors.com/mangools. They give you 10 days free on the full premium plan, and there's no card needed to start, so you've got nothing to lose by opening it up next to me right now and pausing whenever you need to. That trial is honestly plenty to run all 3 passes on your own topic tonight. One thing worth knowing so you're not confused looking for it, there's no forever free version anymore. They retired the old free plan, so the trial is the way in now. Okay, let me show you the first pass. So this right here is the blank search box, the front door for every keyword hunt you'll ever do. Nothing clever about it at all. You come in here with one topic in your head, you type it in, and you let the tool do the kind of digging it's genuinely good at, and you are not. The whole job in this first pass is just to get a big, honest pile of candidates up on the table in front of you. So let me do that. I'll type in the topic I actually write about, Best AI Podcast. Now, this next part people skip constantly, and it quietly ruins everything that follows. Before I hit search, I set the country and the language to match my real audience. Here's exactly why that matters so much. If you leave it on the wrong market, every single number you see after this, the demand, the difficulty, all of it, is describing an audience that isn't even yours. You'd be making decisions off someone else's country. So get the market right once, up front, and then the rest of the screen is actually trustworthy. Now I search. This is the screen that actually matters, so let me slow right down. The big number up top is the difficulty score, and our topic reads 41 out of 100. Now here is why that number is worth trusting when a cheaper tool's number isn't. It's built from the real first page, the actual sites ranking right now, how strong their domains are, how long their articles run, how many links are pointing at them. In plain terms, it's telling you who you would genuinely have to outrank, not just spitting out a generic guess. Right next to it is the demand, about 1,600 searches a month for this one. So 41 at 1,600. For most people, and especially for a newer site, 41 is borderline. It's a real fight, and you might lose it. But watch what I do instead of just staring at the topic itself. I read down the list of cousins sitting underneath it. This is the whole move, so don't miss it. The term you typed in is the bait, and the actual money is in those longer, more specific phrases sitting below it. And a lot of them carry a far lower difficulty than the head term does. That gap between the hard topic up on top and the easy cousins down below is exactly what we are going to mine for the rest of this video. And don't completely ignore these other 2 columns while you're sitting here either. This little trend graph tells you whether a keyword is climbing or slowly dying. You want flat or rising, never a falling cliff, because writing for a dying term is wasted effort. And the cost per click number off to the side hints at commercial intent. A higher number usually means actual buyers are searching it, not just curious browsers killing time. But honestly, for the job we're doing right now, finding keywords you can win, difficulty and volume are the 2 columns you really live and die by. Now let me switch over to this tab, autocomplete. What this actually is every phrase real people start typing around your topic, pulled straight out of the search box itself. Same topic up top, but just look at how the list explodes the second I open it. Best podcast about AI, best AI podcast app, best AI agent podcast, best AI podcast for beginners, on and on and on. The normal people version of what this is. It's the tool finishing everybody's half-typed sentence for you, 100+ times over. And none of these are invented. They're real searches with real demand sitting behind them. So I'm doing 2 things at once as I scan down this. I'm reading the difficulty next to each one, because most of these longer phrases are far easier to rank for than the bare topic was. And I'm checking there's actually real search demand there, because an easy keyword that nobody on earth searches for is just a diary entry with extra steps. Easy plus actually searched. That exact combination is what I'm hunting for, and this one tab is absolutely full of it. One more view before we start filtering anything down, and this one might be my favorite of the whole tool. Questions. Same topic again, but now the tool is only showing me the things people phrase as an actual question. And here is exactly why I love this view so much. A question is basically a ready-made headline, handed to you for free. What's the best AI podcast for beginners? That one single line is your article title and the search intent. Done. Finished. You are not sitting there guessing what the reader actually wants from you. They literally told you, right there in the question they typed. And questions tend to be very specific, which almost always means a lower difficulty, which means a newer site can actually win them. So now look at everything we've got sitting on the table after this first pass. The head topic, 100+ cousins, and a whole stack of real questions. That is a big, messy pile of candidates. Way, way too many to ever write. So the entire next pass is about cutting that pile down to only the ones you can realistically win. Before I touch the filter, I have to tell you the one single thing almost everyone gets dead wrong. Because honestly, it's the whole difference between a list that ranks and a list that just sits there doing nothing. The difficulty number you can actually win is not a fixed line in the sand. It comes down entirely to how old and how established your own site already is. A brand new site, under 6 months old, should really stay at around 20 or under. A year in, with a little authority built up, you can stretch up to maybe 25. An older established site can usually take on 30. Same exact keyword, same exact number. It's a confident yes for the established site, and a flat no for the 3-month-old one. They are not the same buyer. So before you filter a single thing, be genuinely honest with yourself about your own ceiling. Pick your number. And then, only then, you let the tool do the cutting. So I open up the filter, and there is a maximum difficulty field sitting right here. That is where your ceiling from a second ago goes. Let's say my site is established, so I'm going to cap it at 30. I type 30 into the field, I apply it, and everything above that line just drops straight out of view in one single move. Watch the count when I do it. All the unwinnable stuff is gone, and what's left behind is the exact set I can realistically rank for. That's the whole power of the filter. Instead of squinting at 100 separate rows one at a time, you set your one number, and it does the cutting for you, instantly. Now, you don't strictly have to use the filter. There's a faster, looser version of this. The tool also reads the difficulty as a color right there in the list. Green is winnable, orange and red you skip. So on a short list, you can honestly just eyeball the colors row by row and go on feel. But on a big list like this one, the filter saves you from squinting at every single line, and the real point is it never gets tired or sloppy the way your eyes absolutely do somewhere around row 80. And here's a small thing that matters way more than it looks. Watch the keyword count up at the top as you actually apply the filter. Going from 100 and something candidates down to, say, 30 in one click is the exact moment this whole thing stops being theory and gets real. That number left on screen is your actual to-do list now, a finite stack of winnable posts, not the vague, intimidating pile of everything you started with. And here is what actually survived the cut. Look at the difficulty colors now, because this right here is the real skill of the whole thing. Top AI Podcasts is sitting there green. That's a winnable one, you grab it without thinking twice. But something like Best Podcast on AI is up at 48, orange. And for most sites, that is a fight you are simply going to lose. So you skip it, even though it's tempting because the demand looks nice. See, this is the entire game in one single screen. You are not chasing the biggest, most exciting number on the page. You are keeping only the ones colored for your level and calmly walking past all the rest. And I have to just say it plainly because I watch people do it constantly. The single most common mistake in all of keyword research is somebody copies a just filter to 30 rule straight off a video like this one, without ever once asking how old their own site actually is. Please do not do that. Match the ceiling to your site, not to a stranger's. What is left sitting on this screen right now is your real shortlist. Every single one of these is a keyword you could genuinely rank for. So last pass. Let's turn this shortlist into an actual plan. Last pass. Clusters. This is the bit that turns a flat list into an actual content plan, and honestly, most people never even get this far. So the clusters view takes all of your survivors and bundles them up by intent, meaning keywords that all basically mean the same thing get grouped together into one single cluster. And here's exactly why that is such a big deal for you. You do not go and write 30 separate little posts. One good, thorough article can rank for an entire cluster all at once, because to a search engine, those phrases are all just the same question being asked a few different ways. See how the tool adds up the total demand across each group right here? That combined number is pure gold. It tells you which cluster is actually worth your real effort, not just which single keyword happens to look nice on its own. So what I am scanning for specifically is the group that pairs solid total demand with a difficulty I can win. It also shows you roughly how many phrases fit together inside each bundle, which tells you how meaty and substantial an article you've actually got on your hands. So here's the rule I want you to walk away with and keep forever. Do not pick a keyword in isolation, pick the cluster. Because one strong article covering a whole bundle is the entire difference between a content calendar that compounds on itself month after month, and one that's just a sad, scattered pile of unrelated one-off posts that never once build on each other. One last move I always do right here. I sort the clusters by that combined demand, so the biggest opportunities just float straight up to the top of the screen. Then I read down the list until I land on a cluster where the demand is genuinely healthy, and the difficulty still sits comfortably inside my winnable range. That, right there, is the cluster I commit to writing first. The best return for the least fight. And here is the payoff, the one I would actually pick. I open up the cluster I liked the look of, and I select the single strongest keyword inside it as my main target. This is the one. A difficulty I can genuinely win, real demand sitting right behind it, and over here, a whole stack of supporting phrases I can fold straight into the same article as subheadings. So think for a second about what just happened across these 3 passes. You started this whole video with a topic you couldn't rank for, 41, a fight you'd lose. And you are walking away with a specific keyword you can win, plus its entire cluster of cousins, all lined up ready to support it. That is the finished thing I promised you way back at the very start. Not a vague, go do some keyword research, but one real, concrete target to write for, with the whole supporting cast already lined up right underneath it. From right here, you genuinely just go and write the piece. The hard, strategic part of the work is already completely done. And one habit that'll save you next week. Save it. Add this whole cluster to a keyword list right now, so when you finally sit down to write, your target keyword and every one of its supporting phrases are sitting there waiting for you, not scattered and lost across 40 browser tabs you'll never find again. So that is the whole flow, start to finish, and it's worth seeing it land one more time on this final screen. Research pulls you a big pile of candidates. The difficulty filter cuts that pile down to only what your specific site can actually win, and clustering picks the single one to write first. That's the entire method. So here is your actual move tonight. Go run all 3 of those passes on your own topic. The 10-day premium trial covers every single bit of what we just did, and there's no card to even start. The link is right down in the description, stackinspectors.com/mangools. Go find the one keyword you can actually win, and then go write it.